Welcome, welcome, welcome. Luke, what's going on today? Another day of the great day of the grind.
I'm good, man. I'm happier than yesterday. The loss is kind of worn off just in time for us to play again.
Yeah, look, just a time for us to go and take another L. No, I'm just kidding.
Shush.
I feel good about tonight. I'm
Yeah.
with you. The loss is the loss. I spent a lot of my younger days letting sports games actually affects my life.
Yep.
I have grown over the years where that doesn't matter to me anymore, which is good. If you
Yes.
let sports run your day, you should reevaluate some of your reevaluate some of your things in your own life. But I
I've been
digress.
there.
I got my LAFC hat on today.
Woo.
Conference semifinals headed to LAFC. So shout out to those guys. I know that's not either. No one gives a shit about LAFC but me. But they play. Chelsea plays big Premier League weekend. Again, no one gives a shit about this show about Premier League.
My Bears
soccer.
played last night.
What do you say?
My Bears played last night. Looked awful.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Dude,
It
you
could be
want to talk
worse. You
about
could be a
letting
Titans
sports
fan.
affect your life? Like the Bears have affected my life since I was born.
I mean, I'm a Titans fan, but I have just given up. I feel like
Me too.
I get it. Anything they do makes me happy because like it's like anything positive. Like that's just like I expect the worst, So any little positive I get is like, all right, cool. I can
He
blame
completed
for
a
that.
pass. Great.
Yeah, you've got to find the little things in life. Look,
Yeah.
that's where we're about to be with this Grizzlies team. But
Mhm.
nonetheless, today is Friday, so happy Friday to everybody. It's going to be a great weekend. It was a beautiful week this week in Memphis. A little chilly now, but
Yeah.
still, it's Friday, so it's going to be a great weekend. We can take the weekend off. Hopefully, enjoy a Grizzlies win tonight. If you're going down the Grizzlies game, we'll see you there. All kinds of fun stuff happening this weekend. So let's get started on the rundown today. The Grizzlies take on the Jazz for the second time in just a few weeks. And
10 days.
10 days or so. The Grizzlies are facing an opponent which the other night we thought that was a winnable game for them, and I think that this is another winnable game for them. The Jazz are, I think they're just 3-7. Let me check and see.
2-7.
2-7.
Yeah.
They have Walker
What's
Kessler,
yours?
who's going to be out for this game. The Grizzlies might get John Conchar back. He was questionable on the injury report, which usually means for the Grizzlies that he's playing, that he's available to play.
Z was too.
Z was also questionable. I saw that they're both with hip strains.
Yeah.
Again, just like we talked about on this show, you get one back, you lose another.
Yep.
Other than that, no real other big surprises on the injury report besides Derrick Rose is still there with some mysterious knee pain, which whatever.
Yep. We know how they handle those.
No, this is a team. This is a team that that is expected to probably, I think we expect to win this game.
I think without Kessler playing, I feel much better than I would have if he were playing. I just feel good him being out.
Yeah, it's not a guy I think that affects the rotation a ton, but excuse me, but a guy that just like we talked about the other day with who went out, I can't remember who went out, Tyler Herro. You don't wish for injuries. It's not something that you want to happen, but if it helps you get it, if the Grizzlies helps get the Grizzlies W, I mean, I guess I'll take it at this point. Thoughts on this Utah Jazz game? Since we've already seen them play, thoughts on what you might see tonight?
I think I said this 2 days ago, but this one, we haven't won a game at home yet. I feel like this one has to be just a must win in the sense that we need to show people that we're not going to get bullied around. Like if we get beat by the other team, the second worst team other than us right now, like if we get beat by them in an in-season tournament game where we just got beat and we played them the second time in 10 days, I don't know. It just, I hope that we draw a line in the sand tonight and just don't take shit from them. I really, really hope we play like it's a. Hope we play with playoff intensity, even though I know it's not a playoff game, and I hope that we. I just hope they play with pride tonight. I really, really do.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to again. It's an in-season game, so we got those cool jerseys,
Yeah.
and that cool floor. So there's that. But yeah, I think you're right. I mean, again, this is two terrible teams, really and truly. The Utah Jazz are 29th out of 30 in the defensive rating, and I think the Grizzlies are like
Oh God.
actually better. I mean, they're not their defense is 13th out of 30th. So they're. I think we talked about this like before the Heat game. Like that defense has got potential, right? Like it definitely has potential. And so hopefully the Grizzlies can. But the problem is their offense. They just have no real NBA players out that can soar. So hopefully go up against a terrible defense. You can maybe score the ball a little bit. Last game, the Grizzlies lost badly, 109-133. And they didn't really have anybody who played exceptionally well. Jaren Jackson Jr. only had 19 points. He was not great. Desmond had 21 points, but he wasn't really good. I mean, it was like the points got to go somewhere, right? Kind of thing. And so he was not awesome. For them, Colin Sexton off the bench, Kelly Olynyk off the bench were huge for them. That was also a game where the Grizzlies didn't have a whole lot of complement of their players. They had Luke Kennard, but he was back when he was not shooting well. They were playing Kenny Lofton a lot, Vince Williams. So,
we didn't have Santi.
They didn't have Santi. So I think the Grizzlies rotation is a little more solidified than it was when they played him before. Luke Kennard's been shooting the ball well. So, hopefully, they're
not going to have three guys get almost 20 again. I don't think. I mean, they had three guys basically get 20 or higher last game. I don't see that happening again.
I could see Colin Sexton and Lauri Markkanen having another good game. I just the way Colin Sexton plays and the way the Grizzlies decide to let people shoot open threes, that is concerning. Colin Sexton was 4 for 6 from 3 last time. So they were 22 of 43 from 3-point from beyond the arc last time. And the Grizzlies did a brutal,
we were 25.9
brutal job. Yeah, brutal job in defending the three. They did a really, really shitty job in shooting the three. The Grizzlies were, like you said, 25%, 14 for 54 from the 3-point line last time. So that was the game where Desmond was 4 for 12 from 3. I like to see him shoot. That's what I'm saying. Like the points had to go somewhere. You like to see him shoot. You make 4 threes, but on 12 attempts is not really what I had in mind. So,
and Luke was 1 of 8. He was 1 of 8 between the two of them being 5 of 22.
20? Yeah.
That's not good.
Not good at all. Not good at all. So I think the Grizzlies, if the Grizzlies will continue to play like they have played in the past, right? If they will continue to play, I say past, I mean like the recent last 2 games.
Yeah.
I think that team that played the Heat on Wednesday can beat the Jazz easily tonight.
Yes.
And I think that's a pretty safe bet. There's no safe bets really in this Grizzlies team, but I feel good about that. If that team plays how they played defensively in stretches, right? Because they had really good stretches defensively on Wednesday. If they bring that same intensity tonight, I think you have the opportunity to turn this Jazz team over quite a bit. We've seen that be, kind of the MO, not the MO, but they've used that effectively. The Grizzlies have used that effectively and turning the ball over and speeding their opponent up, kind of trying to get fast break points, even though they haven't really gotten a lot, but they've used that in the years past. They've tried to get back to it in this first couple of weeks. I think that's where your key is. If you can continue to do that, if you see what we saw on Wednesday, I think I feel real good about this game.
Yeah. Well, and they need to, it's going to be crazy that I'm saying this. I think they need to kind of let Jacob Gilyard maybe a little bit more with that second unit too. I think that he's kind of the connector that they need, and I think he's second in the league in assist to turnover ratio right now. He's played in 94 possessions, I think, so far this year, and this is in cleaning the glass. I think he's like in the 100th percentile lineups with him. Like I think he's better than we're giving him credit for, and I would like to see more of him tonight, because I think the second unit, like guys like Kennard, guys like Santi, the second unit of the Grizzlies have been so good the past couple of years because they've had that Tyus, that guy that can take care of the ball and that can also just an excellent passer who just passes his shot for somebody else. And if they can get that guy in Gilliard for the second unit and just lean into it, I think that the bench is they're not going to be the problem anymore moving forward. I think if they do that.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. We talked about this yesterday. If the Grizzlies move Luke Kennard to the starting lineup, and they bring Z off the bench, what does that do for the bench unit? Right? Like we didn't really we discussed what kind of like the impact of the starters, but we didn't really discuss what it does for the impact of the bench unit. Maybe that lets Z play against some guys who are not as good. Maybe that gets his confidence back. Maybe it's a little easier to play defense against those guys. I think those are all options. I would like to see that tonight. I think we all would. The things I'd like to see tonight, I'd like to see Luke Kennard start, Z come off the bench. I'd like to see, like you said, Jake Gillard play a little bit more of the second unit, right? The more true point guard. And I'd like to see Marcus Smart take less shots. Those are things I'd like to see tonight. And I think that if you can, limit Zaire and his defensive liabilities right now, I think that gets you a long way. I mean, we saw it got you a long way, right? Even when Luke came back in, right?
Yeah.
It got you a long way to winning that game. He was just really so bad. I mean, it was giving him points left and right. So
I also hope that, like, if he is bad, we're 1-7. We don't have the time to nurse his confidence back. Like we got to play Jitty.
Like pull the plug on him.
Just right now, I think we have to. Not forever, but like.
Well, You mean just tonight though? If it's not going well,
pull the plug on him and put Jitty in. Yeah, get him out, get Jitty in, get that defense.
I agree. Yeah, John Contra's not a guy that's going to win you games, but he's not going to lose you games, and we've talked about that. And so that's that interesting. But like I said, the Grizzlies do what they did on Wednesday. I feel good about it. I feel good about it getting their first in-season NBA Cup win with those cool jerseys, that cool floor. So if that's not something to go look at, I don't know what is. But let's take a quick break. We'll be right back on the other side.
I am highly upset, man.
Oh, man.
ESPN, you dastardly dogs you. Last week had us feeling good. They picked the Grizzlies to be first in the West with about 48.5 wins. And what a difference a few days makes.
What a difference.
You put out your list of the top 100 players in the NBA. Desmond Bain jumps in at 61. Jaren Jackson Jr. comes in at number 31. Jaren's top 25 to me, but if you all right, whatever. I think that's a little slight to Jaren. Desmond Baines is disgusting, in my opinion. Then we get Ja Morant, All-NBA player, two-time All-Star, one of the most dynamic offensively players in the NBA, Ja Morant. That guy was number 35 on their list, Kenny Stubblefield. The same people that said the Grizzlies will be the first team in the West, they're going to get that done with just some regular dudes.
Tune in to The Anthony Sane Show, Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Just curious, you kind of talked about the transfers and things like that. How has that changed your mindset from a roster management standpoint? Like, incredible recruiter. All the classes, I think we had 2 back-to-back and 21 and 22 top classes. How does that change with the transfer portal? Do you start focusing more on upperclassmen? Do you kind of get away from the younger freshmen? How does that work?
Yeah, so I still believe in our coaching staff and the way we do things and developing guys. And that I will never get away from that philosophy. We're still going to recruit a high school class. Now, there's a lot of colleges out there that say, screw this. We're pushing all the chips in on this roster, win right now, and we'll figure it out. Sure. And if it doesn't, right, it implodes and bad things happen. But I think you still have to bring in true freshmen and develop them and see what they can become. And that I'll never waver from that. But the portal certainly changed things.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the show. This is where we do our Sandals promotion time every single day. If you're not already a Bluff City Media Insider, make sure you go and do so. Get all kinds of cool perks. It's $5 a month. Super cheap. super easy. Get access to our Discord, access to our insider articles. Luke does a great job. Parrish, Joe, all of our Grizzlies writers, as well as our Tiger writers as well. And then also all other sports. It's easy. It's super simple. If you're an annual subscriber, you also get a free shirt every year. You get 20% off our merchandise if you're a regular subscriber. You get access to new merchandise when we release it earlier than most. You get information sooner than everybody else. I mean, again, I don't know what else we're waiting on. So if you can't do that, if you can't afford $5 a month, just go subscribe to the YouTube channel. That really helps us out as well. Let's get back to the stats monster. Who tonight our stats monster prediction will be?
I'm going to go with Luke Kennard. If he starts. If he starts.
A little qualifier.
Yes. If he starts, I think I just don't know if he starts and if he starts making shots out of the gate. I mean, he had 3 threes in the first quarter. If he keeps going off of that tonight at home, I don't know who they have that would guard him particularly well. I'm looking at, who they have. They would have Clarkson, Kessler's out, Taylor Horton-Tucker. I think they're going to start Keontae George. I just don't know defensively who would be on him. And if he's hot, he's going to, he's hard to stop if he's just draining him. And
yeah,
that's who I'm going to go with. If he starts, if he doesn't start, I'm going to say Dez. I just think whichever one of them starts getting hot from 3 tonight, that's going to be the stats monster.
Yeah, I actually was going to say Dez as well. Yeah. I think Dez, him going 4 for 12 again is that doesn't repeat itself often. He was able to get 12 shots up. I think some of those were forced, but a lot of those were open looks.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I'm going to go with Dez as well. I think he has a really big game. Again, he had 21 points the last time. Those were 21 real forced or inefficient points. I think that he has a much better game going forward tonight. I think that he gets started. But I could see Luke Kennard as well. If he starts, I could see that happening too. But I think that Desmond Bane a little more crafty. He's going to have more opportunity to get more points. But I would love a Luke Kennard, a Nard Dog game. It would make me happy. Those are always good and fun to watch. So typically though, when that you have something like that, a Luke Kennard game, that it is hard to, the Grizzlies don't, they win more than they lose. Luke has got to be good. Des has got to be good. Jaren's got to be good. So, but I'm going to go with Desmond tonight. I think Desmond's going to get our Stats Monster award for the weekend. I'm looking to him to really will the Grizzlies to a W tonight. Let's take another quick break. We'll be right back. We'll talk about the weekend matchup on the other side.
Seth Hennigan just still, he
doesn't look himself.
He just doesn't, in the big moments, he's not making the plays that have to be made. If you look at the raw stats, they're not terrible, but the 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
And he fumbled twice. They didn't lose those fumbles, but 2 fumbles and 2 interceptions, one of them coming at a terrible time on a 4th down late in the game when Memphis really needed to put points on the board. But I just don't think Seth is playing well enough to elevate this team.
Right.
I think he's playing well enough for Memphis to be fine, but as far as for them to do something special and to elevate this team, he's just not playing like that.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Kenny, there are certain guys in the NBA that are enigmatic players. They're going to be appealing to a large fan base. But when you have guys like that, who like Ja Morant, who have off-court issues he's had, Kyrie Irving, who has had the things he's had, the NBA doesn't particularly like the fact that those guys are larger than life. If I'm the NBA, if I'm ESPN, who of course are working together on all this stuff,
yeah,
I'm going to start telling you who you need to like. And it's going to be a different type of guy to kind of play off of the guys that are going to be there anyway. Let me put these squeaky clean image guys that we want to put in front of you up there as well to kind of counteract some of the stuff we get with the guys that we don't have any control out of. So let me put the Tyrese Halliburtons in front of you. Let me put the Shai Gilgeous-Alexanders in front of you, the Josh Giddys. Let me force these guys in front of you, not particularly on national television games, but let me just kind of create these little sub agendas with these guys to kind of make them those second tier stars that we're gonna put out in front as well. Like, they're doing this on purpose, man. Like, if anybody can't see this, like, come on, man. Do not sit there and tell me that you really think that Tyrese Halliburton is a top 20 player in the NBA.
Tune in to The Anthony Sane Show, Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the Daily Grind, a daily Grizzlies show every single day right here on Bluff City Media. The Grizzlies have the game tonight versus the Jazz. They also have a game on Sunday over in LA land versus the Clippers. And it's a matinee game. It's a 3:30 game on Sunday. Thoughts on this Clippers game?
Well, they've not won a game since they got James Harden, which I think is interesting. And they play Dallas tonight, I think, and I don't think they're going to win that one. So they might have 4 losses by the time they get to us, 3 or 4. And I don't know. We don't have to talk about that trade if you don't want to, but like, I just don't, I think we're going to beat them.
Wow.
I just don't,
Okay.
I don't know. I don't like the chemistry I just don't like how they've looked. Like, and Robert Covington was playing good and they just shipped him off. Like, I don't know. I thought that those guys had enough time to get like, why would you mess up chemistry like that? Like, those dudes had been together for a hot minute and, like, you're just going to send all of them away to get James Harden, notorious for not giving a shit a lot of the time. I don't know. I think if there's one team that might be dealing with, I think that team's dealing with a lot of shit right now. And I just don't know if they'll be able to set that aside or silence it to hoop long enough to beat us,
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. I mean, the Jazz or the Clippers are, they say they're 3-4. They are very good on defense. Top 10 defense in the league right now.
Yeah.
6th in defensive rating, 12th in the offensive rating. Whatever you might think of their record, they are statistically a good team.
Better.
They're a much better team than the Grizzlies. They hold their opponents to just 108 points at 7th in the league. They do a lot of things really well. They still have, right now they have all of Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, and Brett Westbrook, Zubac, all playing it, are all at once right now, all in double figures. Norman Powell as well, or averaging double figures. Like, they got guys, right? And I think that the Grizzlies are going to struggle with they can only put one person on Kawhi Leonard or one person on Paul George. And I think that's the issue. And I think, maybe we see Jaren try to guard Kawhi Leonard. And we see Bismack guard Zubac. And then we see Marcus Smart try to maybe guard again. You got one, you got Jaren Jackson and Marcus Smart, who are your plus defenders, and you got 4 players in Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook. I mean, you could say whatever you want about Russell Westbrook, but he can still get buckets
when he's playing good ball for them. Like,
and if he's close to the basket, he can get good buckets, right? Like,
yeah.
That's difficult. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard both averaging 25 and 21 respectively. Like, look at their stats. They're top 5 or they're 5th in field goal percentage. There are top 15 in 3-point attempts, top 10 in 3-point makes, top 10 in 3-point percentage, top 10 in 2-point percentage. I mean, they are number 1 in the league in steals.
They just got beat by both New York teams though, and those teams aren't great.
Look, I'm just giving you the stats. I'm just telling you from a statistical point of view, they are a very good team. Like, if you just say, hey, look in the box score, look at these numbers, they do things really well. Now, I think that they have had some bad breaks and things like that. So I see what you're saying, but I think there's no way the Grizzlies go out to LA and win this game. I just don't. 3:30 their time, Luna local time. It's a long flight on Saturday. Actually, they might even fly. They're probably not flying out. They're going to fly out tomorrow morning. It's a long flight, 3-hour flight, 4-hour flight. It's tough. It's a tall ask. And so,
well, if it comes down to coaching, like at the end of the day, if the teams are evenly matched and it comes down to coaching, like I think Tyler's pretty damn good, and he might. I don't know. We've seen TJ fumble the ball. Not to dump on TJ, but like, he coaches a really good game until like the last couple minutes sometimes, and then it's just easy to take him apart sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, again, Taylor Jenkins is not above criticism on the show. I think he's a good coach. I think that he has I was actually talking about this to someone last night, and they were talking, well, we know the next step is to fire Coach Jenkins. And I was like, that's crazy. That would be that to me, that is crazy talk.
I agree.
To be clear, you're talking about a guy who has 2 50-win seasons in a row.
Yep.
Has had not a great roster to start the season. I think he earns a little bit of a leash, and response was, well, Budenholzer won a championship, then got fired the next year. And I was like, that is true. So, but again, this is Memphis. I think this is like I just think it's a different conversation. We're not going to have that conversation because I don't think it's a conversation that needs to be had. But
no, I think Bud got fired because his star threw him under the bus after they lost too. I think
that's true.
Giannis blamed him, and it's hard when Giannis is your star and he blames I think they're
when you have a global superstar throwing you,
yeah, just throwing you under the bus, and threatening to leave, or not threatening, but like subtly saying he might go somewhere else. Like I think they had to get rid of Bud.
Yeah, no, I agree. But this game in particular, the Clippers, if the Grizzlies come to a coaching matchup, I don't particularly love Tyronn Lue. I think he's fine. But I've never been a huge fan. I mean, he's fine. But again, I think they've got the players, and I think it's kind of comes down to simple math for me. Like they got even Robert Covington off the bench, who's not played well.
They traded him. He got traded.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Sorry, he got traded too. He was in that trade.
I like him. I like him a lot.
I love Robert Covington. I wish he was on the Grizzlies.
Me too,
I said that
dude.
for years, but
he's so good.
He is so good. But I just think it comes down to numbers. You got 4 guys who have been proven all-stars before. Again, whatever you think about James Harden, whatever you think about Russell Westbrook, still guys who can play basketball. And you got 2 guys on our roster that they got 4 good guys. We got 2 good guys on defense. And it's like, and those guys, for the most part, Kawhi Leonard and Russell Westbrook and Paul George, those guys are pretty good defensively as well. I wouldn't say anything about James Harden. James Harden's good on defense if he cared, but he doesn't care, right? Like, to me, that's just kind of how I look at it. Like, I think they got good guys, and they got more good guys than we got.
We're pretty evenly matched when it comes to rebounding, so that might help us. But
again, the rebounding is, they don't have a lot of rebounding size out there, right?
It's like Zubac, and that's it.
Exactly. So
it'll be a good game. I think Sunday. I hope we show up, because if they show up, it should just be a good basketball product.
Yeah. Should be hopefully it's just a fun game. So
yeah, fun. Fun game. I'll be happy.
Yep, I agree. I think it's L, but hopefully it's a good matchup, and we can enjoy it here in the afternoon time. So, any other thoughts before we get out of here?
No, I mean, I would really like to be sitting at 3-7 on Monday, but I realize that 2-8 is probably more realistic. But I'm going to be putting the good vibes out. They're going to be spewing out of me.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, man, I appreciate you coming on. It's gonna be Good Friday. Happy Friday, everybody.
Woo.
Let's have good vibes only tonight. Let's get a W. And we will see you guys on Monday with the recap of both of these games. And hopefully we're talking about maybe a 1-1 stretch. Maybe if we're lucky, we're talking about 2-0 weekend.
2-0.
We'll see.